Purple Cow by Seth Godin. Have you ever seen a bunch of cows in a field and thought at first glance,
wow, that is so uninteresting?
if you don't see them every day, I'm sure uninteresting isn't the first word that comes to mind, but when you see enough of them, your attention span will get lost in the cow field. Well, imagine if every cow just demanded your attention. Even the most persistent ones would get boring, and if you could just eliminate them from your sight, you would. But what if you saw a purple cow? Weird title for a book, I know, but that's where it comes from. Hopefully it's obvious how this applies to marketing. This book is not, to me, it was never really like a concrete marketing strategy. Marketing strategy or series of marketing strategies. You know, the author of this book, he's not Gary Vaynerchuk or anything, although Godin and Vaynerchuk, their work, they complement each other so excellently. It describes different ways, however, in which a lot of companies, successful companies, have truly left their customers with a wow experience. Oh, and other companies that went wrong by not further providing their customers with a wow experience. The author of this book, Seth Godin, is a very quirky guy, super smart, very right-brained, and he has a spacey way of explaining what he explains. Spacey is just the best word I can find. Welcome to my channel. My name is Samuel, and I want to make self-growth normal. If you want to make self-growth normal, because I don't want to do it alone, then make sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It helps with ranking and SEO and all this other stuff, and I really appreciate it because
So much work goes into making these videos.
you can tell that, and this is probably my favorite thing about him, and it's rare that I see this in any other authors like I see it in him. Who he really supports is a person who thinks for him or herself. He begins by talking about something he calls the TV industrial complex, which makes so much sense to me. I never heard it highlighted so concisely yet so much. TV was such a holy grail for advertising for so long that you could easily sell using TV the same product for decades. Any company that can do such a thing to this day, Coca-Cola, Nintendo, Geico, Reese's, Tide, just about any generic cereal company, they did it on TV. But now with companies, it's like the complete opposite, and that's a big reason this book was written. Godin likes to teach that small is the new big, kind of like Gary Vaynerchuk teaching that, it's important to focus on depth and then width. Let's face it, guys, it's so tempting to just leap for the middle of the bell curve where all the money is. The majority is the way to go, and that's where you want your products to land ultimately, but your products can't go there when you directly advertise to it. Where you should go is the ends at first, where the innovators and early adopters should go. Those people have the trust of the biggest audiences that can be accessed.
And they're only gonna get bigger. I mean, it's not like the population is getting any smaller.
I had an epiphany listening to this book, and it's probably one of those things where it's like, Sam, you're an idiot. Like, everyone knows that. But influencer marketing and product marketing are so different from each other. One of them is like, here, this is the hype behind an object that solves problems, it fills your voids, takes care of your needs or wants or both, versus here is the hype behind a person you can trust to help you find the object that fits, that solves problems and fills voids, takes care of your needs or wants or both. Your needs or wants or both. One of them I've probably done and applied way more extensive research on than the other. That's why I'd rather consider myself like an influencer or a salesperson than a business owner per se.
People have tried to become solely influencers and call themselves entrepreneurs because they're influencers. I don't know. I don't think that's how it works.
Maybe I'm just biased. I just think that if you're an entrepreneur in 2020, you need to be
obsessed with innovation.
And it's books like this that really give me that bias. Companies that are successful and don't rely on innovation, customers are used to seeing on TV and billboards and traditional advertising. Granted, traditional might be a little bit subjective. Are door-to-door and retail and cold calling considered traditional? By the way, the thing I just said about entrepreneurs and influencers, entrepreneurs, and innovation, I have a lot more to say on that topic, but that's a topic for another video. This book came out 18 years ago in 2002. So, affiliate marketing, Amazon, YouTube, Instagram, a lot of the internet that seems to be consuming our planet's attention and money, they didn't have the ground that they do now. I don't want to say that Purple Cow was ahead of its time. Yeah, I'm not saying it was aliens, but a lot of marketing books at the time were probably not as accurate. I really don't think Seth Godin likes the music industry based on some of the stuff he said in this book. I hate it. I have so many problems with it.
Because it doesn't focus on innovation.
So many of my problems with it can be described in this book. If you want to know some of the reasons I stopped making it last July after 3 years. The music business is all about interrupting strangers with news about ever more similar acts, all trying to break into the top 40. If there were anything I could change about the book, by the way, despite what I just said about the music industry, like, doesn't that sound like a little bit of a, I don't know, hyperbole, exaggeration, or generalization? Regardless, 97% of records lose money because this model is fundamentally broken. Of course, in 1962,
this was a brilliant strategy.
People were starved for new music, retailers wanted more titles to stock, stations wanted more acts, advertising in payola was actually effective.
Not anymore.
The music industry still tries to manufacture hits the old way. There are plenty of exceptions. Again, this book was from 2002, but it seems they just happen more randomly now than ever. That being said, I'm really looking forward to all those songs that blow up because of TikTok. That and all the other songs that blow back up because of TikTok. There's this remarkability factor that Godin seems to talk about throughout the book. A lot of them tend to possess some degree of polarization. It's impossible not to feel some type of way about them. Some examples he uses are the Cadillac, what is it, the Cadillac CTS? A lot of people think it's a super ugly car, but the people who like it, they don't just like it, they really, really like it. Pistachio ice cream, it's like a super niche ice cream, but like people who like it, like there are people who like vanilla, but vanilla's boring. Everyone is okay, most people are okay with vanilla, but if you try pistachio, there are people who hate pistachio ice cream. Here's a really, really modern example. In fact, one that has not even hit the road yet. Have you seen the Tesla Cybertruck? You take one look at that thing, and whether you like it or not, you look at the specs, and then you look at the price, and then it's even harder not to have an opinion on it. Something else they all tend to possess is that they are the most of something worth measuring. When my PowerBook broke, what is a PowerBook? I have not heard of this. I called Apple. 2 hours later, an express truck pulled up with a hardware shipping box and took it away, and they brought it back 48 hours later. Wow. I don't mean to bring up too much of the big four, but hey, there are reasons why they're the big four. Jeff Bezos said in an interview that he believes every business, organization, government should have 3 things. Something like 3 things that they make sure that they are providing their customers, clients at absolute, like, all times. For Amazon, it's the biggest inventory, fastest delivery, and lowest prices. No one complains about any of these things. As a side note, have you ever heard anything bad about their customer service? Which brings me to my next point. Something else is that they just have this, like, service that they provide that is unmatched. You want to talk about going the extra mile? If you make this a habit, it does not go unnoticed. That and, you know, smashing the like button in case you haven't already for the YouTube algorithm. There's a restaurant that charges $50 for a 3-pound steak, and if you eat the whole thing, they give you a refund. If you buy pants from LL Bean and burn them and send back the ashes, they'll give you a refund, or they'll send you a new pair of pants. I'm an internet rep at a dealership, so one time a customer was on her way to the showroom. I was like, Rachel, when you get to the dealership, I'm gonna have the vehicle pulled up and ready for you. I'm gonna have the salesperson at his desk so he can answer any questions and help you out. And what do you want from Dunkin'? She's like, what? Dunkin' Donuts, it's right next to the dealer. It's a courtesy of taking your time to work with us. You think she was sold?
Yes.
She was. In fact, I think someone told her about my channel in the process. And Rachel, if you're watching this, I hope you're enjoying that new vehicle. Now, granted, getting Dunkin' for shown appointments before they show up, it's not something I do out of habit, but it's definitely something I should. I wasn't sure I had too many opinions on this book. I mean, it's an incredible book. Definitely one of my favorites as far as marketing goes. I mean, it's a little spacey, but that's kind of like a side effect, if you even want to call it that, of Godin's work. I like it. It makes him unique. It helps him stand out.
In his field, a purple cow.
That, and like I said, the whole thing about, his support for people who really like to think for themselves. Quotes. What all these companies have in common is that they have nothing in common. If they're not going to listen to their friends, why should they listen to you? The opposite of remarkable is very good. Direction 1. I recommend this book for just about anyone who's getting into marketing. It makes a lot of sense if I have not recommended in my previous reviews and like an end-all be-all like marketing 101 just beginner's book. this one is definitely it until I can come up with a better title for that. Seth Godin is very layman friendly, but I still learned quite a few new things listening to this years later, when I had already known so much more about marketing. Direction 2. Like I said, Gary Vaynerchuk and Seth Godin, they complement each other excellently. Not really because of just how they think, but like, Gary Vaynerchuk is extremely beginner friendly. If you think about it, beginner's also a little subjective, because masters are always going over the basics. My favorite Vaynerchuk book is easily The Thank You Economy. Purple Cow by Seth Godin. There's a link in the description if you guys want to check it out and read the reviews. That and all the other books that I mentioned in this video, if you want to check those out too. If you guys buy any books through the link in the description, then I get commission, which helps me build this channel and keep making these videos. If there are any other books that you guys want me to check out and review, please let me know in the comments below, and also let me know if you check this book out and you like it. But hey, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, because I don't get why people watch to the end of my reviews and they don't subscribe. But if you have subscribed and you want to turn it up just a notch and turn on that notification bell to get a notification whenever I drop new videos, that would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You can find me everywhere, and I will see you then.